Hello students, welcome back to another video of metric space. Today we will discuss the last topic of this chapter, compactness and finite intersection property. So the topic is compactness and finite intersection property. Compactness and finite intersection property. In this previous some videos we have seen the definition of compactness and some theorem on that compactness. So today we will discuss the definition of finite intersection property and one theorem on this compactness and finite intersection property. So the definition is the definition of finite intersection property. Let XD be a metric space. Let XD be a metric space and the notation script C. The notation is script C, this notation, be a collection of subsets of X. Be a collection of subsets of X. Script C be the collection of subsets of X. So subsets of X means there are infinitely many subsets of X. So collection of all those subsets of X. So this set is script C is infinite set because this is the set of all collection. This is the set of all subsets of X. So that script C is said to have a finite intersection property, that is a infinite subset, a set of all subsets of X is said to have finite intersection property if every subcollection of this script C has non-empty intersection. So this script C is said to have finite intersection property. Script C is said to have finite intersection property. In short, we say that FIP, finite intersection property. If every finite subcollection of that script C, every finite subcollection of script C has non-empty intersection, that is script C with the collection of subsets of X, that is the set of all subsets of X is just nothing but the collection of subsets of X. So script C is the collection of subsets of X, then that collection script C is said to have finite intersection property. The subset, that is the set of all subsets of X, is said to have finite intersection property if every subcollection of script C, that is every subset of that script C has non-empty intersection. That is, if we take some finite subset of script C and intersection of this subcollection. Subcollection means this is the collection of subsets of X, so we call that as collection, not subset. If we say that set is script C is said to be set of all subsets of X, so instead of that we will just say script C is collection of all subsets of X. So if that collection, that script C is said to have finite intersection property if every finite subcollection, like set subset we use the word collection, for collection we use subcollection, every finite subcollection of script C has non-empty intersection. That is, if we take some finite subcollection of script C, there are some sets in that subcollection, and if we intersect that sets, then their intersection must be non-empty, then we say that script C has finite intersection property. So script C is said to have finite intersection property whenever every finite subcollection of that script C has non-empty intersection. So now the last theorem of this chapter, which is the important one. Let XD be a metric space, then the space X is compact, X is compact if and only if, X is compact if and only if every collection, if and only if every collection of closed sets, every collection of closed subsets of X, if and only if every collection of closed subsets of X having finite intersection property, having finite intersection property, every collection of closed subsets of X, every collection of closed subsets of X having finite intersection property. Having finite intersection property has non-empty intersection, has non-empty intersection. So the statement is XD be a metric space, then that metric space X is said to be compact if and only if every collection of closed subsets of X having finite intersection property, every collection of closed subsets of X, so collection of closed subset of X having finite intersection property has non-empty intersection if we collect the closed subsets of X. Suppose script C1 is one collection, script C2 is another collection, then if we take their intersection, then their intersection must be non-empty. So in the proof, we have to prove this result in two parts. In first part we suppose X is compact and prove every collection of closed sets having finite intersection property has non-empty intersection. So let X is compact, let X is compact, and suppose script C, suppose this script C means we have to prove that every collection of closed sets, so we will take script C as set of family of closed subsets of X having finite intersection property. So script C has finite intersection property, has a non-empty intersection, then we have to prove that intersection of elements of this script C has non-empty intersection. So let script C is equals to, suppose F alpha, alpha belongs to index set I, be any family of closed subsets of X with finite intersection property. Any family of closed sets with finite intersection property. With finite intersection property. Our claim is here every collection of closed sets having finite intersection property has a non-empty intersection. So our claim is intersection of this F alpha is not equals to phi. Our claim is intersection of F alpha is non-empty, is not equals to phi for alpha belongs to index set. So we will suppose that contrary this intersection is empty and we will get some contradiction. So suppose on contrary, suppose the intersection of F alpha is empty, intersection of F alpha is equals to phi for alpha belongs to index set. So intersection of F alpha is equals to phi, then if you take the complement, then intersection of F alpha complement is phi complement. In metric space, phi complement is equals to whole X. So this can be written as whole X is equals to intersection of F alpha complement. That is, if you take the complement of both these sides, then intersection of F alpha complement is equals to this intersection of F alpha complement, and phi complement is equals to X in metric space. So this can be written as union of, suppose this alpha belongs to index set, here alpha belongs to I, alpha belongs to I, union of alpha belongs to I, F alpha complement by using the rules of union and intersection, F alpha complement. So this implies the union of f alpha complement is equals to x means this is the family, that is this is the open cover for x, because x is equals to union of this f alpha complement. So this will be the f alpha complement. Here f alpha is the script C is the family of closed set. So each f alpha is closed. So f alpha is closed, so f alpha complement is open. So f alpha complement is open for every alpha belongs to index set, and union of these open sets is equals to x means this f alpha complement is the open cover for x. So this implies the f alpha complement, this family is open cover for x, is open cover of x. So we can write, suppose D is equals to, we can write f alpha complement as x minus f alpha. X minus f alpha is f alpha complement. So alpha belongs to I is an open cover, is an open cover of x. So x minus f alpha, alpha belongs to I is open cover for x. Now this open cover, this D is open cover for x and x is compact. So this open cover has some finite subcover. Since x minus f alpha is open for each alpha belongs to I, for each alpha belongs to I, but x is compact, therefore D has some finite subcover by definition of compact space. D has finite subcover. Suppose that subcover will be D prime. So let that D prime is equals to x minus f alpha I and I running from 1 to up to k. 1, 2, 3 up to k. So this is the finite subcover for the open cover D. Therefore we can write the x as the union of this finite subcover. X is equals to union of I running from 1 to k, x minus f alpha I is equals to x. This is finite subcover. So union of these open sets is equals to whole x by definition of open cover and finite subcover. So therefore we can write union of x minus alpha I running from 1 to k is equals to x. Now we have this union of I running from 1 to k, x minus f alpha I is equals to x. Therefore we can write or rearrange this x minus intersection of f alpha I using the properties of intersection and union. This I running from 1 to k, we can we get this is equals to x. Just rearranging this, union of x minus alpha I is equals to x minus intersection of alpha I running from 1 to k is equals to x. This implies that x minus something, whole metric space minus something is equals to x. This is possible only when this set is equals to empty, is equals to phi. X minus phi is equals to x. This is possible, x minus something is equals to whole x is possible only when this term is empty, that is this is equals to phi. This implies intersection of I running from 1 to k f alpha I is equals to phi. So this x minus something is equals to x is possible only when this is equals to phi. This shows that this is the intersection of f alpha I, and f alpha I is this f alpha I running from 1 to k is the finite sub collection of this collection script C. Script C is the collection of all f alpha, and f alpha 1, f alpha 2 up to f alpha k is the finite sub collection of script C, but script C has finite intersection property. So this sub collection must be non-empty. So this shows that the intersection of f alpha I, that is the intersection of closed sets, that is this is the sub collection of script C is equals to phi, which is contradiction, because our script C has finite intersection property, means every finite intersection of every sub collection, the intersection of sub collection is must be non-empty. This shows that script C has no finite intersection property, because this sub collection, intersection of this sub collection is equals to phi. So script C has no finite intersection property, which is contradiction, because our script C has finite intersection property. Hence our assumption is wrong. So our assumption is this, which is wrong. So intersection of f alpha must be equals to phi. Hence intersection of f alpha belongs to index set must be equals to phi, that is this intersection must be empty. So this is the first part. In this part, we just suppose script C is the family of closed sets with finite intersection property, and our claim is the intersection of f alpha is non-empty. On contrary, we have suppose this intersection is empty, so this intersection is empty. So if you take the complement, phi complement is equals to x is equals to complement of this intersection of f alpha complement, and we can write intersection of f alpha complement is equals to union of complement of f alpha. So this f alpha x is equals to this union of this, so this will be the open cover for x, and if this is open cover for x and x is compact, so this open cover admits finite subcover. F alpha complement can be written as x minus f alpha. So this is open cover, this open cover admits this finite subcover, so we get union of this finite number of open sets is equals to x. So just rearranging this x minus intersection of f alpha, so this is possible only when this is equals to phi. This equals to phi means this implies the script C has no finite intersection property, but this is contradiction, because our script C has finite intersection property. Now conversely, we will suppose x, we will suppose that this phi conversely we will suppose every collection of closed sets of x having finite intersection property has non-empty intersection. Our claim is x is compact. Similar like this we will prove by contradiction. So conversely suppose that or every collection of closed subsets of x having finite intersection property, every collection of closed subsets of x having finite intersection property has non-empty intersection, Our claim is x is compact. On contrary, we will suppose x is not compact. On contrary, suppose that x is not compact. X is not compact means there exists some open cover of x which does not admit any finite subcover. So therefore there exists an open cover, then there exists an open cover. Suppose that open cover will be script C is equals to G alpha, and alpha belongs to index set. This is the open cover of x, which does not have any finite subcover, which has no finite subcover, In other words, we can say that every finite sub collection of script C, we cannot write this x as the union of that finite sub collection. In other words, we can say that just a second. In other words, we can write for every finite sub collection, for every finite sub collection, suppose that sub collection is will be script C prime. For every finite sub collection script C prime, which is equals to, suppose, G alpha I and I running from 1 to up to k. For every finite sub collection script C prime of script C, every finite sub collection script C prime of script C, we cannot write x as the union of G alpha I running from 1 to k. We cannot write this union of G alpha I is equals to x. So therefore we have union of I running from 1 to k, G alpha I not equals to x. So this we have supposed that the x is not compact. X is not compact means there exists some finite subcover which does, there exists some open cover which does not admit a finite subcover. So script C is equals to G alpha is the open cover which does not have a finite subcover. So this means that there does not exist any finite set of open sets whose union is not equals to x. So suppose this script C prime is that finite subcover which we cannot write the union of I running from 1 to k G alpha is equals to x. So in other words, we can say that finite subcover has finite subcollection script C prime, for which we cannot express x is equals to this union. So we have union of G alpha I running from 1 to k is not equals to x. So this implies, or we can write using De Morgan's law, intersection of x minus G alpha I, x minus G alpha I. This is the finite intersection I running from 1 to k is not equals to phi by using De Morgan's law. By De Morgan's law. These laws we have seen in the 11th or 12th standard. Intersection of x minus G alpha I is not equals to phi. So just take this x minus G alpha is equals to, suppose, f alpha. F alpha is equals to x minus G alpha. F alpha is equals to x minus G alpha. So x minus G alpha. G alpha all are the open sets. So x minus G alpha is equals to will be the closed set. So this f alpha is closed set. Take f alpha is equals to x minus G alpha. Every G alpha is open, so x minus G alpha is closed. So f alpha is closed. Therefore f alpha is closed for all alpha belongs to index set I. Therefore the set of f alpha, that alpha belongs to I, is the collection of all closed sets, is the family of closed sets, is the family of closed sets with the finite intersection property. This is the family of closed set with finite intersection property, because we have supposed that every family of, or we have supposed every collection of closed subsets of X having finite intersection property has non-empty intersection. So this is the family of closed sets with finite intersection property. This is this is because we say that this family has finite intersection property because if we take the intersection of finite number of elements of this, suppose alpha running from 1 to k, this set has finite intersection property because if we take the finite subcollection of these closed sets, then intersection of this f alpha I, which is equals to f alpha is dependent on x minus G alpha. So we can write intersection of I running from 1 to k x minus G alpha I, x minus G alpha I. Intersection of I running from 1 to k x minus G alpha I is not equals to phi, is not equals to phi. Here intersection of x, this I running from 1 to k x minus g alpha I is not equals to phi. By using De Morgan's law we have this, so this intersection is not equals to phi. So intersection of f alpha I is the finite subcollection of this collection of closed sets. So this finite subcollection is non-empty, so this family has finite intersection property. But we can write union of g alpha I for all alpha I belongs to index set. So union of g alpha I is open cover. This, in other words, we have suppose this family of script C, which is the family of g alpha, is open cover for x. So we can write union of g alpha I running from I belongs to index set is the open cover. So union of g alpha is equals to whole x. So union of this g alpha I is equals to whole x. Therefore we can write, this is because the reason behind this is the family of g alpha belongs to index set is open cover. This is the reason of this step. Therefore if we take the intersection of f alpha belongs to index set, intersection of f alpha belongs to index set, that is we can write intersection of alpha belongs to index set, f alpha is equals to x minus g alpha. So x minus g alpha, so we can write it as x minus intersection of g alpha, x minus intersection of g alpha belongs to index set. So intersection of g alpha belongs to index set is equals to x, no alpha, union of g alpha, not g alpha I, because g alpha is the open cover, so there is no need to write this I. Union of g alpha is equals to x, so we can write it x minus x. Intersection of x minus g alpha is equals to x minus union of union, just write it x minus union of g alpha by using the rules of union and intersection. This is wrong. So x minus union of g alpha, union of g alpha is equals to whole x, so we can write x minus x. So intersection of f alpha is equals to x minus x, which is equals to phi. So intersection of f alpha is equals to phi. This means that this f alpha is the family of closed sets with finite intersection property. So intersection of f alpha must be non-empty because this set has finite intersection property. So this intersection is empty, so this is contradiction, which is contradiction to hypothesis, because our hypothesis is every collection of closed subsets of X having finite intersection property has non-empty intersection, So this script C is the collection, that is this F alpha is the family of closed sets with finite intersection property. So this collection must have non-empty intersection, but we get intersection is equals to phi, so which is contradiction to our hypothesis, hence X is compact.